Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1998 film, Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Joseph Summer was in this movie as well. Of course, this movie is loosely based on a true story, and I don't know how accurate this is to the real story. A lot of people said this movie was not that accurate, it was a little more exaggerated. Because Robin Williams played the character, and then the second time played a supposedly real-life character, and had very little to do with the original story, or the original person the movie was based on. The other one, of course, being Good Morning Vietnam, which took place, which came out like 12 years earlier. So 12 years later, he played a real-life person as Patch Adams, who was a doctor, who believed that humor, making people laugh and telling jokes, is the best way to, cheer someone up when they're feeling in pain or dying of cancer, is to make jokes and then cheer them up and stuff. And figure that's the best medicine. Well, you see that it's not entirely, of course we all know that's not entirely true. Of course, when the movie starts off with Patch Adams, gameplay by Robin Williams, goes checks himself into a psych ward, into a psych hospital, because he felt he was going to kill himself, and he decides to check himself in before he actually does do something that he was going to regret, later on. And of course, that's what he did, and there for a while he realizes that humor is the best medicine when he's in the psych ward. And while he was there, he decides to go into maybe medical school and do that and help people for a living. And one of the head psychiatrists that was there was treating Patch, and you can see where he got a nickname Patch. His actual name is Harold, I believe his real first name was. He says, look, you can't check out because they haven't finished, helping you. He said, look, I checked myself in, I can check myself out. And the doctor says, okay, I'm here voluntarily. I'm not here because of my court order and stuff like that. My family knocked me up. I did it on my own. I could check out on my own too. So that's what he did. And he decided to go into medical school, and his college roommate was played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who of course 5 years earlier was in the movie Scent of a Woman. He played an asshole in that movie. He played even a bigger asshole in this movie. And of course, during the film, he decides he's always making like all kinds of different jokes in this film. And the dean of the medical school thought, hey, this is not the way you should behave as a doctor. You should be serious. You should quit the jokes. Because it's not appropriate, quote unquote appropriate behavior for the telejokes. It'd be like real stern, serious, or business-like. And Patch Adams goes, hey, you do it your way, I do it my way, and see which one's the best for everybody. And of course, what was happening was that Patch used to go to the hospital to do rounds. He's a medical student with all the other students in his class, and they go, instead of just looking at each particular case, this one is there's a lung cancer case, so this one is a heart attack case. Or instead of treating the people as human beings instead of just cases. And so what Patch decided to do is he decided to hang around the hospital and trying to tell all kinds of jokes, put like a rubber nose on his face, crack all types of jokes just to make people laugh, because he figured that's the best medicine for these people. And he ends up accidentally going into the kids ward, who all the kids with cancer, and the pediatric cancer ward, and he's just cheering up all these kids, and they're making them laugh. And the nurses saw this and saw what he was doing, and so he's trying to cheer up these kids because they were in pain and dying of cancer, locked them in bed. And the nurses, there's one particular nurse trying to get all the kids back into bed, and they're all laughing and cheering and having a good time, and and they were getting reporting on him that he was doing all this stuff. So the dean of the school was chewing out Robin Williams, and said, "Look, you're not supposed to even see patients in your third year." And he says, "I understand what you do, what you want to do, especially for the kids. Entertain them. That's one thing, but do it when you want." And Robin Williams says, "Well, what if I do it on my own time to try to cheer up these kids?" And he says, "I don't." And the dean said, "He was an a-hole. There was plenty of a-holes in this movie." He says, "I don't care. Don't do it." And he's trying to keep getting thrown out of the school because he was doing all this stuff that he's not supposed to be doing. Because, like I said, he's rigid in his rules, and if you don't follow the rules to the letter, you're going to get thrown out of the school. And there's one point in the movie where people thought that Robert Williams cheated, or Patch cheated, because he got so high scores. He hardly studies. I mean, he does read the medical books, but he doesn't, study. You see, that doesn't really study. He's got he's like in the top 3 in his class, in medical school, and everybody else, you see. And I see more Hoffman's character. You see him struggling to study to keep his grades up, and he says, "How in the hell can you do that? Go spend all this time in the hospital and make your jokes, entertain these kids, and not study and get the grades in the beginning, and then busting my ass, and you don't study. What the hell's the matter?" And he goes, "What's the matter with you? You don't study." And he accused Patch of cheating. And that plot point never really goes anywhere. But one point that does go somewhere was just before they graduated. They took all the finals, and the dean of the school wanted to prevent Patch from graduating and earning his medical degree. Because one thing that Patch decided to do was decided to have his own little hospital, or at least a little clinic, I should say, and just to deal with patients on a one-on-one level, on a human level, and not on a case-by-case level, and to deal with them just to talk to them, so they can talk out their problems and stuff. And he doesn't prescribe any medications to them. He just tells jokes, just goes through this whole comedy act, and trying to help him, and the thing, or maybe do simple first aid on some people, and that's about it. So the dean found out about all this stuff and says, "Hey, he's doing stuff that he's not supposed to be doing because he doesn't have a medical license yet. So because he doesn't have he's practicing medicine without a license, I want to bust him and make sure he doesn't graduate." So Robert Williams does this whole speech about dealing people one-on-one and all the stuff that's mentioned, and the doctor says, "Look, I appreciate," and this one doctor's medical board says, "Look, I understand what you're trying to do, but still not appropriate behavior on your part. And I appreciate what you're doing and stuff, but you shouldn't have done it until after you graduated. It's one thing to do it after you graduated, but you have your medical degree, you have your medical license. It's one thing to do it then. I'm not going to stop you from doing it then, but you should have waited." That's what they think. You should have waited, but they allowed Bob Williams to graduate anyway. And the sense of the dean saying, "Dean, you accepted more of his behavior. If you act more like him," I said, "you wouldn't be such a hard ass. And you shouldn't be." And told him you shouldn't be such a hard ass to Patch or anybody else, because they're trying to do the right thing, and you won't let them to. You have these stupid rules that you have set up. If you didn't have all these stupid rules set up, Robert wouldn't have done what he did, or Patch wouldn't have done what he did, if you weren't such a hard ass on him. If you weren't such a hard ass on him, he wasn't doing all the stuff behind your back. If you weren't such a hard ass. And so and then it was bummed out that he had lost the argument, that he couldn't prevent Patch from graduating or working as a doctor. So that's how of course the movie ends with him graduating, and people want to sign up for his little clinic that he had. Of course, there's one subplot that I should mention, which I glossed over. But there was one subplot with one of the women in the class, in the study group, that Patch had a crush on and ended up developing love with her. I mean, he fell in love with this girl. And there was one particular patient who came to this clinic that Patch had set up, and they weren't too sure with this guy. They were uncomfortable with this particular patient. And there's one day that this patient calls up the clinic and found out nobody there, and this girl answered the message, "Oh, come to my house, I need help," yada yada yada. So the girl decides to go to his house and says, "Oh, you want to have a cup of coffee or something?" And says, "I just want to talk." The girl says, "Oh, okay. You want to have a cup of coffee or something, or a cup of tea, whatever?" He says, "Yeah, why not?" And then he closes the closet door because he was hanging up her coat, and then that's it. And then you find out that the next morning, the dean of the school, of the whole school, I guess the medical department, but the whole school, calls up Patch and says, "Can you come over this morning? I need to talk to you." And Patch thought that they was going to chew him out for taking supplies for his clinic or something. But the truth of the matter was, he found out that the girl that he was in love with just got killed last night, or the night before. And the guy who did it turned the gun on himself and killed him and blew his brains out. And first he killed her, then he killed himself. And then he goes, "Oh my God," and all that stuff, all that type of thing. And couldn't believe what had happened. And after what happened, he originally wanted to drop out because he was so upset and so depressed about what happened. And even seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, who tried to talk him out of it. And he says, "Well, because I know everything there is to know about medicine and disease and stuff, but I don't have that unique to deal with people on a one-on-one level like you can. Can you teach me to be a better person, people doctor, instead of just dealing disease and stuff? Because you're a better people person than I am. Can you teach me how to do that? And without you being here, I won't learn how to do that. I learned by watching you, and I wanted to learn more from you how to be a better people person, and I can't do that if you're not here." So, and then they talked him out of not. Well, and then of course he had the other secrets, which I mentioned earlier, where the dean of medicine wanted to bring him up and throw him out, bring him up on charges for practicing medicine without a license. Even though they can't, they can prove it, but they can't really do anything about it. They weren't doing anything major. Just basically maybe first aid, just talking to people and stuff, not dealing out medications to people. They didn't do that. It hasn't done that. But as a movie itself, I thought it was a little stereotypical Robert Williams movie at that point in Robert Williams' career, that he shows a lot of his humor, and then all of a sudden gets into more serious stuff. And it's kind of like Good Morning Vietnam, but in a hospital setting, and not as a DJ in that movie. It's a similar type of role that he had. When he killed himself, he really lost the role comedic legend. And that's what Robert Williams was. I mean, he was so good in this one. I thought it was good in this movie. It's just, like I said, it's a stereotypical role for him, but it's an enjoyable film. So another review of Patch Adams. I'm going to say, please click on the video, do my whole thing, talking about making comments down below. You're not going to make comments anymore. Because what one idiot did, it has to ruin it for everybody. So, just rate the video. Please post this video to your Facebook pages. And please subscribe to my channel. And you can see all my videos now on my YouTube channel. At valleyc.com. It's OWDY and lastc.com. There's a homepage and Valley reviewer Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website as well. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.